Something that I don't see as much of as I think is necessary on social media is information about the process and the time that it takes to develop a thing. I feel like most of the time we are bombarded with information on how to do XYZ very quickly, but little do we hear about the time, the process, the emptiness, or the low attendance, or all of those types of things that people actually experience as they're building or developing something. So I feel like the people who we see on social media, a lot of the people who we may I don't want to say idolize, but maybe sometimes idolize or admire, that's a more fitting word. The people who we admire on social media or in business or in leadership or in whatever industry we're in, oftentimes what we're looking at is the fruit that they have produced. We're not looking at the seed process that they had to go through when they went down into the ground, much like a seed, right? How it goes down into the ground. They had to go into a dark place. They had to be crushed. They had to go through a lot of times maybe of doubt or uncertainty. And then eventually, as they kept going, as they kept working it, as they kept, being watered, as they kept sowing, as they kept growing, eventually what we see now today is a harvest. The thing about looking at the harvest for the onlookers, not for the people who go through it because they ain't tripping, but the thing about the harvest for the onlookers is that the harvest, because we're looking at that so much, we could be deceived into thinking that our harvest is going to spring up quickly. But nothing in life is that's good, is going to happen very fast and very quickly, right? If I thought about sowing a seed tonight, and I did it, say I actually sowed a seed tonight. If I got up tomorrow and there was a full-blown stalk of corn or fields or apple tree or whatever, even if there was already something bursting out of the ground, that would concern me, because I know that it takes time when I sow a seed. I know that that's a process. So why are we surprised when we're starting out on a new venture, or when we're starting out in entrepreneurship, or when we're starting out in leadership? Why are we surprised that it takes time? I'm going to talk to myself right here so won't nobody get offended. It's okay if no one shows up the first time, maybe the first few times. You know why it's okay? Because you're building, and it's a process. But the more you build, the more you work at it, and you're consistent, you will reap a harvest. Be encouraged, everybody.